Here's in the Drupal master called the Kozang Gompotoche, one of the great teacher. I think most of Tibetan know, especially Nyingma and Kagyu tradition, Lakama Kagyu, Drupal Kagyu, Tikung Kagyu. Everyone, pretty much everyone knows this master called the Kozang Gompotoche. He have one instruction, how to meditate the loving kindness and the compassion. The instruction. So how to meditate the loving kindness and compassion is his one is in the morning you wake up, then you visualizing yourself as a Chenrezig, and recite the mantra and supplicate it to the supplicate to the Chenrezig that you will have this loving kindness, compassion in your mind. Then this loving kindness compassion meditation, first you have to start a loving kindness meditation on yourself and a loving kindness meditation on others. So loving kindness meditation yourself is yourself transform to the Chenrezig. Yeah, yourself transform to the Chenrezig. Then you try to see beauty or delightful of Chenrezig's qualities, delightful body or beauty of the Chenrezig's body, and the delightful or speech of the Chenrezig's speech and mind. So Chenrezig's body is what we visualize. We just did the practice of the meditation on the for Chenrezig practice for Chenrezig. So that is a really beautiful or delightful. And when you see that way, then you can have yourself as a kind of a more delightful thought or loving kindness. Sometimes, because sometimes we have this sense of I'm not good enough, not perfect, or this kind of like always see as some kind of a shortage ourselves. So that is actually kind of a sign of hatred. Make sense? So that's the lack of the loving kindness. So how to love ourselves is we have to see our body as a Chenrezig. When you see as a Chenrezig's body, then you have to see as a beauty of Chenrezig's body. And when you see as your speech as a Chenrezig's six-syllable mantra, then you have to see as a beauty of the Chenrezig's mantra. Then you have to see your mind as a Chenrezig's mind of the compassionate, loving kindness and compassionate, thought. So then that when we see that way, then you only see as a beauty or delightful. You not have any kind of like a, unsatisfied. You don't have any kind of a disrespect for yourself. So that is how you have to love yourself. Yeah. Then the loving loving kindness meditation on the loving kindness to the other is also called the sentient being and samsara. Yeah, samsara. I mean, what called the counting and container? How to say it?
The contained and the container.
Yeah, contained and container. Contained means that place where we live. So this contained is built by five elements. Yeah, earth, water, fire, wind, space. So then you try to see those 5 elements as a 5 female Buddha. Since you transform yourself as a Chenrezig, which is also you can say you are 5 aggregate as a 5 male Buddha, and 5 element as a 5 female Buddha. Then you start respecting, you start delightful, you start, kind of start see as a beauty of the elements. When you see as a beauty as an element, we're not going to abuse. I think this all the environmental disaster is happen because we are lack of the loving kindness toward to the elements. So this is said, false of not having loving kindness to the element, as if all those environment disaster will comes, like earthquake, flooding, or those like destruction come from the tornado. This kind of environmental disaster will come because we are liking with the what called that, liking the respect to the elements, liking to the see the quality of elements, or I just say delight here. So that reason element as a 5 female Buddha, as a it said earth as a Sanjit Jema, yellow in color, a golden color, water as a Mamaki, blue in color, fire as a Kokarmo, as a red in color, and wind as a Tara, green in color, and space as a Wungchuma, as a white in color. So these 5 elements as a see as a 5 female Buddha. That is how we delight, and that is meditating loving kindness toward to the elements. Yeah. So also when we meditate in loving kindness element, mean that we have to remember that their kindness. Yeah. We have to respect and we have to remember the kindness of the elements. Why? What is a kindness? Is it? So earth as a Buddha Pali, yeah, Sanjit Jema is called the Buddha Pali. It help us to, that way, because of the earth, we can walk, we can sit. Those all is happen because of the earth. So that's kindness of the holding us. And water of the Mamaki, and we help a kindness of that we can have a that we can make the food, we can drink the water, as that way our moisture of the physical body necessary all come from the water of the Mamaki. And fire as a Kogarmo, and also like a digestion and all the those are because of the fire, also ripening of the food, everything. And the wind of the Tara as a help us to the movement. Yeah. Then space as a Yingchuma, Wunchuma as a they help us to, all other 4 elements can say function. Yeah? 4 elements function is happen because of the space. If there's no space, we cannot walk, we cannot talk, we cannot breathe. None of those elements can function. So space is necessary for our surviving. So that reason, when we look this way, 5 elements, then 5 elements are really kind to us. So remembering the kindness, that one, it bring us delightful toward to the elements. Yeah. I mean, that's we have to see this way. Now, I think everybody is more and more seeing this as how important as protecting the environment. We destroying our environment is because of the selfishness, because of the greedy. So if we want to protect our planet or our environment, first thing is we have to work with our emotion. Reduce our greedy, reduce our selfishness, reduce our this temporary seeking the benefit. If we don't look that, if we don't see that one, we are really difficult to protecting the environment. So people are, especially nowadays, everybody is really hungry with the money. No matter how much you get the money, you want more and more. So for that sake, you have no problem to destroying your own environment. So when we destroy our own environment, then more and more every year you see the really strange what called the shape of weather, yeah, including more and more disaster of elements. We created. So I was talking to some people last time with a German, because after the having German flood, I said, actually, this is pretty much you created by this disaster. Is created by all the human beings on the planet together, but only what called the impact or only challenge is come to the unfortunate one. When it's a flood, it happened, not going to happen everyone. Even like one city is not going to happen every household. Yeah. So directly it's not going to be like if we have lots of rain, it not necessarily we're going to have a flood here because we live on the mountain. But even we not get the flood, if in our city get the flood, we are impact too, indirectly. So that way we don't see that part. So that way lots of people have this selfishness of want to hunger of making money and this. So that way we never show the respectful the elements. That is causing problems. So that way we have to in the Buddhism, and especially in the Vajrayana tradition, we always have to see as a this body, or this body as a deity, and this place as a mandala. If you can see this as place as a mandala, then you have to show respect as a mandala. Then how to respect is you have to protect. If you truly respect it to something, you're not going to destroy it. So this reason, actually, I don't think so. I'm sure Buddha knows, but most of the Buddhism practitioner and especially in Tibet, I don't think so. Anyone knows about the problem of environment problem. Yeah. I don't think so, but there's a lots of rules, regulation, which is really helpful for the environment. Then we always with using with the spiritual way. Like if you cut a tree, the spirit will become unhappiness. So you don't want to cut the tree, and you don't want to destroy the mountain, and that, so including that don't want to bring out all those what called the mines. So that way in Tibet, all those mines and natural resource, yeah, it never touch. But then when Chinese come in last 10 years, they make it completely empty. I mean, I heard there's one monastery, from monastery to there's a well, water well, yeah, well, or the spring. They said when you go to collect the water from the spring, 1 monk cannot go because so many bushes and they're scared. Maybe they are wild animals. But now it's completely empty. There's just only rocks. That kind of destruction happened during the Cultural Revolution. So those things happen because we don't show that respect for the environment. Make sense? That's happen everywhere, I think. So this reason we have to meditate the loving kindness to the Mother Earth, basically. Yeah, we have to see as their kindness. Once we see the kindness, then you have responsibility of the repay the kindness. How to repay the kindness is have to protect them. You cannot repay their kindness by destroying them. Yeah. So that way, this loving, meditating loving kindness toward to the container, content and container. How to say this?
Content and the container.
Yeah, content. So that is the elements. Yeah, this earth. I mean, I think English just call earth. Water, fire, wind, all is involved to form this our planet. Those 5 elements together form this element, including our body too. So we have to show. Then container means the sentient beings. How to you meditate the loving kindness toward to the sentient beings? First, you have to try to see as a loving kindness to the, visualizing in front of you all the Guru, Buddha, and Bodhisattva, everyone who kind to you, who show you the path to the liberation, who went to under hardship to the benefit of sentient beings. Like the example is put on the Shakyamuni Buddha, where he went through that much hardship. For what reason? Why he sacrificed himself like that? He's not need to run to the forest because he's a lack of the food and clothes and respect and name or anything. He's not running because he have not enough. He's not searching for those. He run from those fame, wealth, fortune, power. He run away from those two, so that way he can find something benefit for us. I mean, if you look at all the enlightened beings, how much they went through how much sacrificed themselves. Pretty much their life sacrifice. That's why we gain this one. Even look the mundane, those scientists. They went through so much hardship to try to find solutions. I heard some scientists stay in the forest for years, long time to try to find the solution. Last maybe about 200 years, yeah. Last 200 years, those scientists work so hard that way we have really this comfortable life. Still, we're not satisfied. Still, we are full of complaint. If we look back to even just American life, go back to the 200 years ago, how people live. Now look now, totally different, yeah. But so those orders not come created by the God or someone. This is humans' dedication, sacrifice, and went through hardship to find those solutions. There are no other creator to create this comfortable. Make sense? So someone went to under the hardship. Same way, those Buddha and Bodhisattva, they not become a Buddha and Bodhisattva by living with a luxury life. So in Tibetan, we have one way to say, said, you dog, pig, because of the lazy, so that way you become like that. And me, divine and sage. rishi, sage. They are went to under hardship, that way achieve the nirvana, liberation. So those all who achieve the nirvana, Buddha and Bodhisattva, including all those our past masters, they not achieve the nirvana by easy way. Yeah, they not achieve that by every day, eating really, delicious food, living in the really luxury place, beautiful place, and have a really easy life to. They not achieve that nirvana that way. They went through so much sacrifice. So this is one example as a Shakyamuni Buddha. We have to remember his sacrifice, sacrifice. We have to remember his kindness. Then you will have sense of appreciation. Make sense? Otherwise, we never appreciate anything except ourselves. And sometimes even we not appreciate ourselves. What is only what call this? Kind of like a groundy, unsatisfied, disrespect. That kind of attitude comes. Why? Because we don't see as a kindness from ourselves, from anyone else. Then we are full of complaint. So that is it, because we couldn't recollect the others' kindness, others' goodness, others' beauty. Yeah, we couldn't recollect. That way, we couldn't show the loving kindness. So try to see that one. Then from there to when you have this, because when you meditate in loving kindness toward to the enlightened being like Guru or Buddha or someone, it's easier to meditate loving kindness. Yeah. So from there to then slowly apply with the sentient beings. From the beginning to every, which I try to say, I want to meditate loving kindness toward to the every sentient being, a little bit impossible. Just try to apply one. And also, that's a higher being, and the lower beings are mother sentient beings. First apply meditation on someone so kind to you in your life. Who's the kindest to you in this life? Just remember that kindness. So that kind of kindness is have shown by even this life's enemy. One lifetime you have received those kindness from those beings. There's one story in India, because in India, those water merchant, what called water merchant? The business people in the sea. Merchants. When the merchants travel, they take the monk with them to guide them, teach them, help, pray for them. So that is how Buddhism went from India to like Thailand, Indonesia, because of the merchant. So you can, if you look the history of Buddhism, is went through those business route. One is on the water route to like Thailand, Indonesia from the boat. Another one is through the Silk Road. So through the Silk Road went to the Pakistan, Afghanistan, then Mongolia, in Tibet, or also in China, Korea, and those all is through the. So why? Because that time those all business people travel with their spiritual leader. Makes sense? Because they have to travel so long. So there's one story, one Arhat called the Katayana. His name is Katayana. He traveled with a water merchant, yeah? Yeah, many months in the boat. When they return in the shore. And that night, because everyone so exhausted, slept. He too, he was really exhausted. And actually, next morning, he was overslept. Then each group thought maybe he was with them. So they all left. Then when they left, and only he's there. Rest is already gone. When he woke up, everyone is gone. So he was just walking shore of the water, just walking. Then he saw one man, fisherman, cooking fish. Then dogs try to come to, get some fish. So as a human nature, we throw the rock on the dog. So then this Arhat Katayana saw their past life, all those four, and he's holding his child in his lap. So all those four beings, past life he saw. Then he saw that child was his enemy, who killed him in past. Then the father was born as a fish. His past life, the father was born in fish, and past life, the mother was born as a dog. So that way, it's not necessarily this life's enemy are past life's enemy, and this life's dear one is a past life's dear one. And not necessary. Yeah. Connection, sometimes your past life's enemy is become this life's kind of like a close one. So I'm not saying it's start hating to your family member or loved one. I'm not saying that way. What I'm saying is that every sentient being, sometime, some point of your one life, they show you kindness as you receive in this life from some individuals. So that way, that is showing us so every sentient being have been kind to you. One point. So that is you have to try to see. Then one day you can meditate loving kindness toward to the every sentient beings. So this loving kindness, like Lord Jesus said, what is the loving kindness? Is like how mother feel to the child. Example of loving kindness. Because most of our love, as always, we have some self-interest here. Like lots of people love the pet because they knew the pet is a really good companion, and pet is really good for, give you company and this and that. But you don't have a true love to the pet because you don't have any recollection of the kindness, unless maybe some people can see that one. So point is what I'm saying is when we said I love this and that, there's have a selfishness involvement. But when mother love to the child, there's no self-interest, purely love, yeah. And that love have no measurement. No one can measure how deep it is, the mother's love is. She will go any kind of hardship for the sake of child. Yeah. So that way we have to try to start meditating loving kindness toward to the sentient beings. Then second one is come the compassion. Now, when you see the destituted beings, sentient beings who are miserable, so you have to see this way. Those may be my mother, and because of my sake, she created negative karma. That way, she was born in this kind of destituted life. I mean, without a negative karma, no one will suffer. Okay, everyone who have a suffering is a result of the negative karma. There's no question for that. But for what reason they created that negative karma? If you look at our own mother, they will do anything for the protecting the children. So that reason, lots of time sentient beings creating the negative karma for sake of others, like those butchers. They not kill those animals because of their own sake. They kill so that way they get money to provide to the family. Fishermen, you know, even the thieves, when they're stealing, they're not stealing only for themselves. They want to help to their family. So that way, sentient being in the samsara, creating negative, most of the time they do some those negative karma do for others' sake, loved one's sake, yeah. So that way you have to see this way as in the samsara, sentient beings, in the hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, they're sufferings. Why are they suffering? Because they created a negative karma. That way they are sufferings. Why they do this negative karma is it sake of the protecting the loved one. So maybe you see when somebody is in front of you really destitute, yeah, miserable. It never know that person created negative karma for your sake in past. That's why they born in this life. So we don't know actually. Maybe we are related because that's why we meet there, have some kind of karmic connection. So even this life, you have nothing to do with this person. It doesn't mean that you have nothing to do with that person. So that is you apply with every sentient being in the hell being, hungry ghosts. So hell beings, because of that, they are strong aversion. They're born in the hell. So that aversion is not necessarily only personal, reasons. It can be some other people's reason, some other loved ones' reason. They become that aversion. Same things hungry ghosts, because of the attachment. Animals, because of the ignorance. They born because of the that kind of negative emotion and negative karma. From those emotion, when you make a really great negative karma, you will born to the hell realms. When you make the medium negative karma, you will born to the hungry ghosts. When you make the lesser negative karma, you will born to the animal realms. So those sentient beings, even that forget about that, we don't see the hungry ghosts on a hell realm, but we can see the animal realms. We can see the human realms. In the human being, there's six class of beings. All you can see within the human being. You can see hell there. You can see hungry ghosts there. I was joking last time when I was in Europe. I said, I think I am truly hungry ghost. Because when my physical body is healthy, I have a outer obscuration, which is no money to buy all those treat, like ice cream and all the good, delicious things. Now, when I get some money, my health is not supporting me to can eat them. So inner obscuration. So I have both obscurations. I used to have outer obscuration. Now I have inner obscurations. And because if I eat them, it will burn my stomach. It's like we said, this hungry ghosts, when they eat the food, it become a fire and the smoke come out. I don't see smoke physically, but almost like smoke coming out when those sickness bird comes. So that way, we can see ourselves. There's sometimes hell experience, sometimes hungry ghost experience, sometimes animals experience. Yeah. So within the human realm, you can see the 6 classes suffering. Examine it on them. If today's your loved one is experiencing the hell, what are you going to do? Today's your loved one, like your mother or your father or someone, so dear, if experiencing the hungry ghost suffering, what are you going to do? Same way, those beings in the 6 class beings, they have been our mother, they have been our father, they have been our dear one, they have been our kindness one. So with this, then you can get a sense of what does compassion mean. Then that way, then you look the prayer itself said, all mother sentient beings, boundless as a sky. So sentient beings have no limitation. You know, sometimes we may think, oh, beings only on this planet. We still not sure the moon have a beings or Mars have a beings or not. But in the Buddhist scripture, they show many scriptures said there is sentient beings live in those planets. Even there's a sutra request by the son of the sun and the son of the moon. They request to the Buddha, and Buddha give those sutra. So that way, but the only problem is that our human eye have a limited to can see. Our sight is not that we can see every existence. We only see only few things. This is first time I heard this in the US called the color blind. Yeah. So we are kind of halfway blind actually. I don't know it can call the color blind or not, but we are just some degree of blind. So that reason we may not see all those beings in the other planets physically, but definitely there is sentient beings. Now scientists find out that there are many galaxies, yeah. I don't think so. Those galaxies, the galaxies of galaxies, so many of those are just empty. Then we don't have an answer of how it's increasing the population. Yeah. So that way, sentient beings have no limited of this much. That reason is said all mother sentient being boundless as a sky. Sky have no end. Same way, sentient beings have no measurement of a number. So have happiness and the cause of happiness. You wish them to happiness, but not just wishing, not going to be happy. You have to give them cause of happiness. How to? So in the Buddhism, we said, even you carrying your mother behind on the back and make the circumambulation on the earth 3 times, you cannot pay their kindness. You cannot repay their kindness. But if you bring your mother to the Dharma, that will repay your kindness. So Dharma means the teaching them to do good things. So you're wishing them happy, but you have to teach them how to make them happy, especially how to create the cause of happiness. So cause of happiness is the virtues, meritorious activities. Without their own accumulation of merit, your wishing cannot make them happy. You can teach them, you can guide them, but they have to, what called? What called that? They have to participate with that. Yeah, they have to participate with that. So that way, you said happiness and cause of happiness. Cause of happiness is a virtue. Yeah, so you have to teach them to how to do virtuous things. Not necessarily, recite the mantra or do practice or meditation, but just, other virtuous things can do. In India, Buddha's time, there's one really rich guy. He was so selfish. He lived in the top floor. So when other beggar come, he never share anything, including the monks comes. But he lived really fancy, enjoy really good meal, food. So then his son got married, and the wife was from Bodh Gaya area, and she was grown up serving to the Buddha and the monks. She was really devoted to the Buddha. So when she married to this household, And monk come to the back, that area, because they have a huge monastery, the Sharavasti area. Monk come to the back, and she tried to offer to the monks food, and her father-in-law was really upset. He said, why are you wasting those food to those lazy people? Food is not for, wealth is not for just, giveaway. Wealth is have to protect. You have to learn how to protect the wealth. So then she was kind of a little bit disappointed with her father-in-law's decision, and she started calling him thief. So he was really upset. He tried to kick her out of the house. Then she went to call the Panjat. At that time in India, actually democracy. Panjat means the 5 people from the older people from the town. They make decision. You go to your case, take to them, and they make the decision. So she took to the Panjat. Panjat means the 5 people. And they asked, why you call him the thief? And she said, why I cannot call him thief? He is thief. And they said, how he become a thief? She said, he is only using merit that in the past life what he created, not in this life. All this life, enjoying his life, is nothing had to do with him in this body. It's created by his past one. So that way he's a thief, because he not enjoying by his own, because he owned them, owned them, yeah, owned them. So then he went actually. So then the Panjayat make that decision, is said, now on, if she want to invite monks and want to offer, she can do. So then one day she invited Buddha. Then he was hiding behind the curtain, Then he was listening what Buddha going to say. He's curious, but he couldn't stop her to do that one. And Buddha was talking to her, and Buddha, every time when Buddha invite, Buddha dedicated merit to someone. So when dedicating merit, Buddha first called his name, because he is the head of the family, her father-in-law. Then he was so, moved from that. He thought Buddha going to be totally ignored about him. Then slowly, he became so devoted. Then not just only devoted to the Dharma, he became so respectful his daughter-in-law. He called her mother. Make sense? So that is showing us whatever we have experience of in this life, successful or failure, is have to do something from the past life's karma too, not just only this life's effort. So if we don't have it in Tibetan called the mark on the forehead, it means the merit. If you don't have a mark on the forehead, no matter how hard you work, you never become successful. Even you become successful, you will be some miserable will come. So whatever, so point is many things in these lives, what we experience is have to create by in the past lives, good or bad. So happiness is a result of the good deed, and the suffering is a result of the bad. So here said happiness and the cause of happiness. So happiness is not come from the free. There are no free deals, anything. Everything have to come with a cause and conditions. So cause of happiness is the good deed, and the cause of the suffering is the bad. We call the good karma and bad karma, yeah? So that is what is mean the you call the love. So that way in Tibetan we said when you introduce when you introduce your parent into the Dharma, that can repay complete their kindness. Other than that, anything else you do, you cannot repay. Why? Because when you introduce them, you bring to the path to the happiness. Not just only this life. Maybe this life may be a little bit difficult to make comes because of the practice of Dharma is not easy. You know, it's a hardship. Hardship may come, but long-termly, it will give you effortless happiness. So, I mean, even you try to, when you look in job, most of the time you look job that is a long-term benefit, yeah? You're not going to look job that is a short-term benefit. If you look at job that is a really short-term benefit, then go to bankrupt or something. I mean, short-term you will get also drug dealings, things like that, yeah? Short-term you may make lots of money, but then longer it will make you really miserable. Yeah, so that way anything what we do normally we try to do long-term benefit. So in the Dharma, I say not just on long-term benefit, it means this life, in the future life. Yeah. So the reason we have to be wish them happy, and may they be free from the suffering and cause of sufferings. So you have to help them how to liberate from the sufferings. Sometimes, no matter what you do, you cannot help them free from sufferings. You know, some people are property. You give them so much money, but they sooner or later they become the same poor, no money. Some family member, they have no money. Then the other, family member try to help them. They, a little bit. Then after the little while, again become the same way. Yeah. So when you have no merit, yeah, no matter how much you receive help, you never become rich. Like during the cultural revolution in Tibet, all the rich family become homeless. All the poor family got everything material, whatever belonged to the rich family. Then once end of the cultural revolution, policy, within the 2-3 years, again, the rich one become rich and poor one still remains same as a poor. This is a happen in Tibet. One King Tsultrim Tenzin, I think grandson, or yeah, his grandson, Munizemo, his time, he made the financially equal to every citizens 3 times. That way his own mother killed him. He did took away all the rich wealth to give to the poor 3 times. Then after the few years again become like that. Rich one rich, poor is poor. So I think if our merit is not supporting, no matter how what we do, this is really difficult. So this is it. We agree or not, we believe or not, that's a reality. Is it all? Suffering is a cause. Suffering is created by our negative karma, and happiness is created by the positive karma. So that way I said, may they be liberated from the suffering and cause of sufferings. So that one. And may they never be separated from the happiness. That means the joy. So it means that when you see them happy, then you get joy. Then joy is not just only like enjoying what they're seeing. It's also you have a thought of I wish them stay this way forever. Yeah, but if you don't have joy, you get jealous on them. So that way, lots of time, I heard this one is when family are poor, civilians really close to each other. When they become a little bit wealthy involved, wealth is come up, then all the civilians become really competitive with each other. Make sense? I heard that one. So in Tibet too, I'm talking about the Tibet. Less kind of closeness with the civilian. So that is a lack of the joy. what a love compassion, joy, yeah. So we need joy. Then equanimity is the same as I before mentioned. So this for 5 as okay. With this thought, then we do this. Okay, so we do with the son devraje bajuje go do senje konai chere se nanga tabo jobe chuje se je we ba melai chase lo o mane beme o mane beme o Oi mane beme oi tembai nyamen do wai shaje toi choje jau jazoi seda je kajue lama na je chuden doi nyembo yege doma chungwa sho Oi mane beme oi mane beme oi Oi mane beme hoi tebe sanje nanje konso dan ma hoi sanje nanje sosa dan tatai shubai nanje shabden doi nyembo yege domai chungwa sho Oi mane beme oi mane beme hoi Oi mane beme hoi leje dewe pama lobenda nyende tendroi reshin teba ana gombo chere seje lana droi dewa chendo jewa chenje lo Oi mane beme oi mane beme hoi Oi mane beme hoi te lai te ne chada mo son je ne den ta je se len tu de na gombo chere se je la na doi de wai chen doi je wai chen je lo Oi mane beme oi mane beme hoi Oi mane beme hoi menche sunbe jinda pomo da manche sunbe jinda e pomo na gombo jere seje lana do dewa jindo devra jinje lo Oi mane beme oi mane beme hoi Oi mane beme hoi koson do de la majin koi kole tese tembe senje na gombo chere seje la na doi dewa chendo jewa chenje Oi mane beme oi mane beme Oi mane beme hoi teje galam badai mengeje teme yuje nyesen chawana gombo chere seje lana doi dewa chendo jewa chenje lo Oi mane beme oi mane beme Oi mane beme hoi menge chodan same ngambo da te dai nyengai chebe lenge na gombo chere seje lana droi dewa chendo jewa Oi mane beme oi mane beme Oi mane beme ye amana jem shembe sege lambe sende ana Gombo Chenrezig Lana Doin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Ho Oi Mane Beme Ho Oi Mane Beme Ho Shewa Nawai Tuta Jide Kanje Sende Malu Pai Gombo Chere Seje Lana Doin Dewai Chen Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Ho Oi Mane Beme Ho Oi Mane Beme Ho Jishe Moshe Laro Juro So Yeme Deme Badoi Chamba Na Gombo Chere Seje Lana Doin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Washoi Tombe Mande Tenjen Dai Shaddai Sube Senje Malupa Gombo Chere Seje Lana Doi Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Menje Jeje Shamba Shenshen Doi Mendroi Naboi Mesoi Membana Gombo Chere Seje Lana Doi Dewai Chendoi Jewrai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Beme Usan Kasuen Ngarin Zambole Deshele Soilen Nyewa Ana Chere Seje Lana Doin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Joi Chembo Ngalai Nejede Suje Some Toroi Senje Na Gombo Chere Seje Lana Toin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Nyewa Yedai Dundro Lama Ye Lame La Soi Kansoi Senje Na Gombo Chere Seje Lana Toin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Choche Shinga Ramjan Dalende Deje Demai Kawe Senje Na Gombo Chere Seje Lana Doin Dewai Chendoi Jewai Chenje Lo Om Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Oi Mane Beme Yewa Deye Nyondo Da Chere Sewa Tojo Ne Dowai Chijama Bai Deye Sal Gobai Shoy Om Baza Sadu Samaya Manu Balaya Baza Sadu Teno Bai Dishant Sudo Jayo Memba Wai Subu Bawa Anoratu member away, Sawai City membrayat, Sawai Kamai Sudzame, Zitam Shriya Guru, Ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawai Tadai Gata, Bejra Mame Munj, Bejre Bhava Ma, Samaya Satu As. Look the page, this one, page 12. By this virtue, may I quickly realize the state of Chenrezig, and may all sentient beings without exception attain the glorious state of Chenrezig. Chanjoy, Senjoy, Rinpoche, Maje, Panai, Jejoy, Jebai, Nyambai, Membaya, Kone, Gondoi, Pewai, Sho. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where is unborn may arise, where is born may not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Shejai Gunse Gunje Chuje Tende Nelai Wando De Gumba Renjem Beje Dembai Sideba Shedroy Tezan Gombe Zenjoy. May the teaching of the great Digumba Ranashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of the independent, continue increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation
until the end of samsara.
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assemble of the Yidams and assemble of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Daginis, dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the affliction of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not rise in my mind. May thought of a fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not rise for even a moment. May my mind stream a momently loving kindness and compassion and bodhicitta, and through that I become spiritual master with good quality equal to infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the trauma of the suffering not rise even at the time of the death. May I not die with a negative thought. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such, and providing clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of the death or in the parto. Thank you. Gracias.